Ladies and gentlemen, Johanna, good evening. Our guest tonight is Patrice Morchain, writer and lecturer. Good evening. Thank you for accepting our invitation. You are a writer and you wrote The Chakra, Path to the Self, A Path to God, Between Knowledge and Devotion, and also Better Seeing, Better Living. Your books talk a lot about spirituality. Why? Was there a time where it was like the end of the world for you? Oh wow, totally yes. 20 years ago, doctors thought I would die after 2 or 4 years because I was HIV positive in a great condition, and they thought I had 2 or 4 years to live. So I felt condemned, and I said to me, okay, nothing to lose, everything to win. And so I went to meet Louise A. in Los Angeles and Deepak Chopra. I did fast, did many things. I went to churches. And my path, my book, Path to God, talks about knowledge and devotion, because having been nearsighted in the past, I had a lot of insecurity within. And I was very skeptical. And of course I talk about knowledge and devotion, because for me it's important that you understand the way consciousness works in order to surrender and develop devotion and surrender to the strength. There are no haphazards in this. I ask and I receive. So you've been a caterer, you've been studying catering school. And so I did for 6, 7 years, yes. And how come did you get to that? Was it chance? Well, actually it's mainly HIV. Because I thought, well, what do I want to live for this time left? But wasn't catering a mean to achieve that? Yes, of course, I was getting seniority pay, but I wanted to say, what do we want to do for these years left? And so I retired, and I started to teach about healing of the eyesight, because I healed a vision problem. No surgery now. Well, for me, we're going to talk about that in my lectures, but everything starts in a state of consciousness. You will get that very easily. The difference between somebody who is happy and happy is a state of consciousness. But the difference between a person who has luck or not is also a state of consciousness. A person who is healthy or not is a state of consciousness. And a state of consciousness can come now. I make this little switch, and this switch within change inside gets outside, because my body is just another aspect of unconsciousness. And I always talk about symptoms in the past, because if a person says, I am nearsighted, they say, I used to be nearsighted, I am nearsighted, and I will be nearsighted. And so if you don't want to project in the future something you don't want that was in the past, change your words. You have to become aware of the reality you're creating with your words. I used to be nearsighted or short-sighted. I had a lack of confidence. I had immaturity, so you had immaturity. Does it mean you are now healed? Well, doctors may not say that I am healed, because, you know, doctors don't say you are healed of cancer or anything. But maybe I'm an exception. And just like people that get older that don't wear glasses. It's not a fatality to die from AIDS, just like it's not a fatality to wear glasses when you get older. Why is path between knowledge and devotion? This is the title of your book. Because the title of my book is really a path. When I talk about vision improvement, I talk about, you want to talk about eyes, I will talk about God, which is sounds like eyes in French. But I mostly talk about spirituality, because finally we have to realize that the eyes are not here to apprehend the reality, but mostly to create it. Because if I look at my boss, think that my boss that will never change me or anything, I would be right. So you mean you have to change your perception? Yes, either I will have an easy life, But it's not always easy, she says. Well, okay, yes, that becomes very much spiritual, much more spiritual then. But I am a dreamer. Dream my dream around me, and with my beliefs, things and thoughts. And you are a dreamer, dreaming your dream around you, and we just relieve dreams. And you create your dream. And when our dream bubble interact, we create something we talk reality. But physicists know that there are nothing physical in this world. What happens today is just a result of our both consciousness. What happens in the physical world is just the interaction of whoever created it. So if you want to change something within your body, it's rather easy. But if you want to change something with a partner, children, then it's different. We talk about co-creation there. Those people have to be willing to experience that. So in your book you talk about a meeting that was quite important for you. Well, at the very beginning I met a friend, a boy, who told me that I had a green aura. The aura is green? Oh, I didn't know at the time what was an aura. And I read a book from Steiner, I guess, and this book said that green was a color for healing and healers had a green aura. So I started to lay hands on people and notice I could affect them, change things. And so this woman I talked about in my book, Vicky, she was seeing auras and she was functioning just like you and I, just perceiving the auras of things and people. And so she offered me to give me a reading, because apparently I needed it. And this woman I didn't know and didn't know me started to talk to me about things that I had in my consciousness, being skeptical. And at the time, you know, for me to talk about future was easy. But when a person talks to you about your past, that's what's bothering. And she was seeing things, the problems I had had. I was not feeling good within. I was suicidal, and she would see all of that. And so she told me, Patrice, you're a healer. And I had done my first healing some weeks before. And she said, well, we work together. And that was startling to me, because I'd never met her. But the memories came back afterwards, yeah, past lives. And as I was doing healings, my hands starting to do things I didn't decide. And my hands started to do things. And my therapist explained to me that this was passes to release energy. But this, my hands didn't know. Well, I knew that I learned without knowing. Most people don't know who they are. You just believe you are the surface. But first of all, we are a spirit. And that spirit can become anything I decide. And I have a CD which says I am. And it says I am who I am and I am whoever I decide to be. If I decide I'm short-sighted and can't do anything, well, my will be done. Otherwise, if I decide I can do that and get that, that will be done too. Because the universe, for me, it's me deciding what's happening out there. So, but what did spirituality bring you? Well, first of all, I'm still alive, and I do workshops in Tahiti, Quebec, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Australia. Wherever people call me, I like to go. So I travel, and I actually received a Tahitian surname because an Orero came there and told me that I was Manu Taihori. And so I told him, but what does that mean, Manu Taihori? Well, Manu, Percy says I'm a bird because apparently my arms were moving a lot, and then I'm told Tahi, And also already traveler, because I travel a lot. Well, there are still many things I would like to change. But as I say in Réunion Island, you know, step by step I'll get there. Even though right now I may not be exactly what I want to be. Maybe I'm not like I want to be, but when I look how I used to be, wow, I'm aware that I decided there was this determination. And this is very important to me. Because if we can talk about, maybe I'm going to take some time with that. But Gita Madas, who channeled the dialogue with the angel, and so she left when she was 80. And so a journalist was asking her, but she says that we all have a guardian angel. And she said, how do we get to contact them? And this old woman, 80 years, just stretched and says, because you're thirsty. And then she gets the okay, it's okay with my life, I'm on the Champs-Élysées, but if you're thirsty, you know, that's the thing that's important to generate. Being thirsty to think more clearly, because if you say, well, it would be good if I had a pizza tonight, you know, you're not sugar. But if you are determined to get a pizza tonight, well, your friends want to get you to another restaurant, you're going to have a pizza tonight. So you don't believe in haphazard? No. There is a beautiful song from Etienne Dao, and many of my workshops I start with there are no coincidence, no chance, only rendezvous. Because there is a perfection beyond my first perception. And so, that's something that's not from me, but blessed are those who believe without seeing. So, you know, once you have to believe things you don't experience. Like my mother, she did a workshop with me, and 2 weeks afterwards, she found a job. Because at the time, she believed it was difficult to find a job being 51 of age, you know. But after the workshop, she started to understand that she was a person special who could deserve something special in a special job. One time, an old woman told me, well, it's a bit sad,